from the Anaheim Convention Center. This is the end of the CWL Anaheim Open. I'm Puckett here with Momo, and we got some gifts here on Father's Day. Let's hear it for the fathers. Where are you at in the crowd? I see a dad right here. We got a shirt for you, man. Momo, let's keep it rolling. Make some noise. If your dad is in the building, have him stand up right now. We got a papa right here. We got a daddy over here. We got dads in the back. Momo's gonna keep it rolling as we get this one fired up. In Anaheim, we wanna give you a shout out. Hook up Grandpa Joe. You guys have been incredible all weekend long, and we're gonna need your energy as we close out this epic grand finals. It's NA, it's EU, $200,000 this weekend. Momo, let's close this out. The loudest band, he's walking away with the $85 MLG book bag. It's MLG prime time, baby.
The most electrifying event you could possibly play at.
For some reason, every year it's that Anaheim event just seems to be the best one.
Most hyped up Call of Duty event every year.
The Anaheim crowd, it's literally electric. You walk in the venue and you feel that crowd.
It's just that one event per year that you don't want to miss.
What a play from Zero, smacks basically out of the sky.
See you later, General. Bye-bye. Gets one, gets two. You just fed it to the beast.
Luminosity moves on to your championship match.
Complexity, something that no one thought could be done. Optic Gaming, just let it go.
EG, Anaheim champion.
Optic Gaming are your 2016 Anaheim Open champions.
I think it's going to be the craziest Anaheim we've ever seen this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is MLG prime time, and it is grand final time here at Championship Sunday at the MLG Anaheim Open. Cannot wait to get this grand final underway. And joining me on the desk for this grand final, I have Merc, a 13-time Call of Duty champion, Proofy, a 10-time Call of Duty champion, and of course, TP, an 18-time Call of Duty champion. You could not ask for a better analyst desk in any esport. Combined 41 Call of Duty major championships between them, so they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, pretty
Lots
good.
of knowledge.
So much knowledge on the desk, that is for sure. But this Anaheim has been one to remember. So many upsets, so many epic moments, and a fair amount of chokes have been in there as well, that is for sure. But it all led to this exact moment. Two teams remain, one European, one North American. It's a repeat, of course, of the Stage 1 finals. Luminosity versus Splyce. And I have to get your immediate kind of reaction to this grand final. Was this the final you expected to be coming into Anaheim?
I think you kind of have to at this point. I think we have that new rivalry we've been waiting for so long now. It was Optic United, but I think it's fair to say now with these consecutive placements that this is the new rivalry, right? These are the top two teams. This is what we should expect now. This is the norm. Both teams doing so well here.
I'm just extremely excited right now. I can't even sit down in the seat. I want to stand up and jump around. The grand finals get me way too excited. It's been a while since the Championship Sunday has been this lit.
Oh, it's definitely lit, especially with this crowd, of course.
And it's Father's Day.
Gather, and it is Father's Day. You're absolutely right. But of course, we will recap the tournament now briefly. We'll start with our winners bracket, just so if you are just tuning in for the first time this weekend, you can get up to date. Of course, for Luminosity, it was a 3-2 victory against Optic Gaming, which then propelled their momentum, a 3-0 victory over EG and a 3-0 victory over Epsilon to book their spot in the grand final. Of course, for Splyce, it was the losers bracket run, and they made it pretty convincing, of course, after that loss to Epsilon, the 3-1 defeat. You can see for them it was relatively simple, 3-1 over E6, a 3-0 over Cloud9, and a 3-0 revenge match against Epsilon. And then that, of course, gives us that grand final. Merc, how you feeling coming into this one? You got your top three completely correct.
That's true. I feel pretty good coming into this one, actually. But Luminosity, Splyce, I mean, you know, the roles were reversed at our Stage 1 playoffs. Splyce came from winners, Luminosity came from the loser side, and I think it's going to be tough. I think Luminosity has looked great all weekend long. They obviously take out Optic. I mean, just Saints has been playing extremely well. I mean, you obviously have to talk about Octane, but also Slacked and Classic always doing their thing, and on Splyce, I mean, Zero and Vance have just been the stars. Jerd always playing well, and Luminosity, I don't think they're going to be sort of used to this slaying style of Splyce again. It's been a while since they've played a team who has so much star power on it. And then obviously these are our first 5 maps of the day.
And I know Joe and T both touched on this, but Luminosity has been relaxing for how long now, waiting to get to this match. Splyce is coming off multiple victories. They're fired up. They're ready to play. So if Luminosity can't answer back quick in this first map, we might see the second best of 5.
That first map so important, and proof you touched on it there, of course, for Splyce. You don't just have to be LG.
Oh, that sign.
That's savage. I respect it. I respect it a lot.
All right.
Octane has been playing pretty well. Yeah, there you go.
Professional mode for a second. Oh my God.
As I was going to say, proof, of course, you did kind of touch on it for Splyce. You don't have to beat LG once. You got to beat them twice. Yeah. And they have been completely and utterly on form. But I have to ask, predictions for this one. Does it go to a second best of 5? Is Splyce going to be back-to-back champs for Europe here?
I think LG's going to take this one in one best of 5. It's going to be damn close, though. I think it is going to be a 3-1. LG's sort of swing game type for both of these guys really was going to be that uplink, but I think LG's just looked a little bit stronger, more consistent overall, giving them the edge here.
Okay, proof.
For the sake of this tournament, I'm saying it's going game 5. Excitement, baby. I want to see that search and destroy go down.
Do we get a double game 5, or is it just the first game 5?
Just first game 5, LG.
Well, you're boring. Merc?
Miracle.
Well, I was going to say this is going to be done in 4, but just for you, Ben, we'll say done in 10. Luminosity wins. I don't really know. No, I expect Luminosity to win in this first best of 5. 4 games. I think Splyce takes the uplink, but I think Luminosity's just been way too strong in Hardpoint.
Wonderful. Well, the CWL Anaheim Open Grand Final is moments away. Splyce versus Luminosity. We can send it out to Puckett to introduce our 2 teams.
Thank you, Benson and crew. Are you guys ready? This is the championship match live from Anaheim. Yes, keep it going. It's time to introduce you to the returning champions, the victors from stage 1. Let's hear it for the boys from the EU. It's Splyce. They had a rough start to the day in the winners bracket semis, but Splyce has powered their way back to the main stage. But the only team that is standing between them and a second trophy, let's hear it for the boys from NA, Luminosity. I think I have a feeling of who the fans are cheering for. And Octane, I have to ask you, you guys have gone undefeated through the winners bracket. Everyone putting on stellar performances so far. What are you looking forward to most in this rematch against Splyce?
Just a revenge from playoffs. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to.
Vance, last time you had the advantage. It went to a game 5, a round 11, an epic finish, and you were crowned champions. How do you do it again, this time in front of all these people?
Just take it map by map. We know they're a great team. They know that Respawn's strong. Just play our own game. We'll come out with a W.
This is going to be an incredible series. Gentlemen, I'll let you shake hands and head to your stations. Luminosity, take your seats. Splyce, take your seats. It's time to get the grand final started. And we couldn't have anyone giving you a better cast than these 3 men. We got Maven, Courage, and Mr. Rex.
Thank you, Puckett. We are excited. It is the CWL Anaheim Open. This is going to be an absolute treat. I'll tell you what, happy Father's Day out there, but there is only one dad playing in this grand final. It is Saints, and he has been in dad mode all weekend long. 1.2 KD in Respawn. He's been the best he's been all year, Jack.
While Octane is a new hypothetical father, according to the signs we saw out there, Saints is a real one. Baby Kai is out here as well with Sydney. So again, happy Father's Day, Matt. Could not be more excited for the rematch from stage 1.
Oh, that'd be great for him to get a win here on Father's Day. Would probably mean a lot to him. He'll get their first tournament win of the year, and he has played absolutely out of his mind today.
And as much as we've hyped up Octane, I mean, Saints has been a catalyst for this team. His resurgence as a top slayer, big part of the reason they've been able to play as strong as they have. But I think overall, Matt, what stood out for me when we were looking at the stats, it's kind of everyone on each team has been going off, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no weakness for either of these teams. teams, looking up and down the rosters, everybody has been strong on Luminosity. You have not gotten the same, insane performance out of Zero as you did at the playoffs from Splyce, but Jerd has been much better, same with Madcap.
Well, yeah, I think he had one of the highest KDs all time in bracket play. I think it was like number 5 on a short list of players. He had a 1.28, right now sitting at a 1.18, so very strong. But what stood out to me is as good as Octane was, he was would have been MVP at Luminosity 1. He's actually gone up. He has a 1.22 in Respawn, a 1.39 in Search and Destroy. Octane is playing at a level unlike anything we've seen from him.
And does that not show great leadership from the side of Luminosity to recognize, you know what, let's give him camo and S&D? For me, by far the best Search and Destroy player this weekend. Why not give him the most important payload that can secure you free round wins? We'll see if he can do it here now in the grand finals.
Well, to Team Luminosity at the beginning of the year, we were talking like, who's going to be the leader of this team? They didn't really seem like they had a leader on this roster who was going to make those calls in game. It seems like Octane, we go to him in interviews, much more talkative now, much more confident. Seems like he's become that guy.
I know he had a map earlier today. He actually told the team, he's like, I'm not talking this map. I'm going after this team. I think he was 38 and 20. He said he didn't make a call out throughout the course of the game. Yeah. The skill on him is unbelievable. We'd always say he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss. His gameplay has been just absolutely electric. Excited for
While we wait for the players to get ready, I actually want to poll this incredible Anaheim crowd. Can we go to a shot of them really quickly? Crowd, from what you've seen so far this weekend, who out there now has Octane as their new dad? Okay. A good amount of people. Octane has to pay a lot of child support. He better win this event.
Yeah, he needs the 20 grand from first if they're going to be getting that $80,000.
Probably need more than the 20 grand.
Each of you gets a Lunchables.
Yeah. Poor Scump. You saw the one side, his name's crossed out. Octane is my new dad. He's been a beast, man. Can he continue it here? And I'll tell you what, the only difference right now in the rematch that we saw from the Stage 1 playoff is kind of how these teams got there, right? It's a reverse of fortune. You had Splyce last time waiting. Now it's going to be Luminosity that went through the winner's bracket the entire way there. My question, at least the first time they played, was what map are they going to be able to take and respawn from them? It was Retaliation Hardpoint that Splyce won. Guess what? It's game 4 again in this series.
And also the game 2 Crusher Search and Destroy was that dramatic round 11 game 5 we saw.
Yes, it was.
So we'll get a rematch there as well. If we all remember, that was where Splyce had an incredible shot call. Either way, here is our best of 5. Matt, break this down for the viewers at home. Where do you see the advantage going in these maps?
Look, I think Luminosity, they've been so strong in the respawn modes this weekend. You look at games 1 and 3. Probably favored them in those 2 game modes. You have the Scorch Hardpoint to kick things off. Throwback Uplink game number 3. Crusher S&D, that is one where we've seen Luminosity, they're pretty good on it, but Splyce has been so good in Search and Destroy this weekend. I think it's one that if Splyce can take the Search and Destroy, steal one of the respawns, force that game 5, we could be second series.
A scary thing as well to bring up Scorch Hardpoint, a map that we've seen Splyce be very consistent on in the past. Typically, they've been very, very good. Crusher S&D, they've already beat Luminosity on this back at Stage 1, and then Throwback Uplink, a game mode that they just destroy teams on many, many times. I think LG are going to take it, but honestly, I could see this one going to a second series.
And it's really Splyce, like their only loss in Uplink has been to Enigma 6, if memory serves. So they've been unreal in that game mode. I just don't know. I mean, I didn't think they could take a Hardpoint off LG a couple weeks ago, and I was proved wrong. What's it going to be? Is it going to be the uplink they can take, or some of these hard points? We know how good they are in Search, but at the same time, Luminosity knocked all year long for the Search. Matt, we've seen them improve drastically as of late.
Yeah, for me, I think, a lot of people favor LG going into this match just because with the way they've won their series prior, right? A lot of 3-0s, big lopsided victories. Splyce, they've got there, winning these series pretty easy, but a lot of close score lines, but that's just the nature of this team.
And I can't help but feel with, I think on one team, the lowest respawn KD is a 1.07. On the other side, lowest is a 1.08. They've been just amazing throughout. It almost is going to be who has one player that kind of has a rough series right now because everyone's been playing at such a high level.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the 2016 CWL Championship Grand Finals, there were thousands live in the venue cheering on the EU versus NA battle. Now it's only right that we see it again at another major LAN event. It's time to begin our CWL Anaheim Open Grand Finals.
Here we go, kicking things off with classic of Luminosity. You'll see he's still running that camo in the respawn. Octane is taking over control in the Search and Destroys. First kills going back and forth as Classic tries to go over the top, but Matt, Talk to me kind of, what are your keys to victory here for Luminosity in this game 1 Hardpoint?
Well, I think if you're LG, you definitely want to get control of that turbine hill. It's going to be hill number 2 that comes up in the rotation, and then that long rotation across map, Jack, all the way over to Hangar. I think that'll be a very important hill to hold down, but it's going to be Splyce at the beginning, led by Mad Cat, getting off to a great start.
And you see Mad Cat already. You mentioned the great start, 4-0 from him. He's using those 3 higher tiered score streaks as well. Those are in the bottom right. Jerd electing to go with the Scarab. Mad Cat does not. Splyce so far this weekend have always started off maps, it seems, very good on breaking that first hill, at least keeping a contest on it. But here is that rotation you mentioned, Matt, across the whole map towards Turbine. We'll see how they fare here against LG.
Well, as they start to rotate across, real quick, Matt, I'm curious about your opinion. You know, after Splyce 1, it was like EU, they're catching up to North America. Now with 3 teams in the top 8, 2 in the top 3, has the time finally come?
It may have. I mean, I remember, you know, back at the Call of Duty Championships finals last year, a lot of people in the crowd cheering for Europe, whatnot. Now that Europe's actually won, they're not cheering for Europe anymore. They want their crown back here in NA.
Okay, well, so far it's been all EU. 37-10 is the scoreline, but Luminosity currently has control of Turbine. It's going to be on Splyce to try and get the break. First man to push through is going to be Bance. He should be able to get shots in the back of 1. Classic will fall, trying to hunt through more. As soon as they tag one up, this should be go. They're going to hit around the corner. Saints is able to find the first. Bance now cruises in. The break is here.
That's unacceptable from Slack right there. He should have killed Bance before he had any chance to get the pinch from that lower door. Definitely apologizing to his teammate for that one, as that was his only job. He knew Bance was coming from there. So the last 20 seconds of this time will go to Splyce.
Yeah, and, you know, when you look at Splyce as a team, they're going to challenge Luminosity in these gunfights. They're not going to back down. But the only difference is that Splyce not as explosive as the LG roster, right? They're going to play this one a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, try and grind this score out. So it's kind of like a similar play style, but also they vary in different types of pace.
And how important for you, Matt, is this game 1? I mean, if they're able to come in Splyce and take the first hardpoint, kind of just punch LG in the face, say, hey, we can hang with you in these respawn modes, how crucial is it?
Oh, I think it's huge for Splyce. I mean, LG has not really been challenged that much today in the respawn game modes. I mean, we've casted a lot of their games. They've been, quite frankly, ugly. They've just been dominating. So to lose a game here early to Splyce will put a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, you mentioned they've been dominating. A 12-2 overall map count record in the winner's bracket. Ridiculous stuff. We're not talking pool play numbers. We're talking against the best teams in the world. That lead we saw from Splyce now gone. Saints, again, happy Father's Day there with the 2-piece. LG will get the scrap time as we rotate towards Drill.
We're on with Zero, your stage 1 MVP, as he's trying to hold down Drill control as the rotation now going to come in from Luminosity. This has been one of their better hard points in the past, but the first opening kill is going to be going over to Luminosity. Saints now over the top. The last remaining player from Splyce has to back down. What an easy break that was.
And that's what you got to love to see right there from Bance, Matt. He not only recognizes he's being pinched from both sides, he clears one lane, gets out with his life, and now look what he's doing on the minimap. He's about to be a thorn in the side of LG as he gets first blood for his team.
Yeah, just putting himself in a fabulous position, giving his team a chance to get back into that Drill hardpoint. And you were spot on, Jack. They get a few kills, they break on in.
That's a difference between, you know, playing your life in a smart way like that or kind of throwing your body to the wind with 3 players collapsing. Heads up play from Bance. As now we may be looking at another lead change as Splyce now holding on to Drill as Mad Cat closes the edge, but Octane trying to answer back.
And here's a perfect example, Matt, of something we see a lot with teams that normally go up against the likes of LG, you know, Optic in previous times this year, where you stay even in slang, right? You give yourself a chance in the game as it goes on. But as we get towards that 10-minute mark and some of these hard points, they begin to kind of fall off. Splyce, for me, they cannot have that happen, especially as this game goes on.
No, and we saw that happen in Luminosity versus Epsilon. You know, Epsilon, they hung in there really close in the uplink, and then it just takes 2 minutes. 2 minutes of gameplay, and the score was so lopsided in LG's favor.
Well, Luminosity breaking open this lead. We're watching Classic, your camo player currently, as he's looking inside a research. Hops out with the E-Rap, but the hip fire not good enough to connect. It's going to be a full kill feed there for Splyce as they wipe everybody off the board. 30 seconds remaining here. We'll see how much more they can tack on.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead and not only hold this time, but look at how aggressively they're pushing out these lanes. You've got to have someone now begin to fall back and watch that inner warehouse area. It looks like they're kind of blind reading exactly what LG are throwing at them right now, Matt. This is a big blunder by LG.
This is where Splyce can take over the game. They're going to have control of Turbine at the beginning. And we were all talking, you know, who's the one in the series, you know, could have a faulty game? LG right now, you're looking. Octane 7 and 12. Splyce is getting blessed right now. They need to take this game 1.
They really are, and I want to see Zero's POV if I can, just because he's currently on a 4 streak and he's set up in a key position here. He's 2 kills off picking up the Trinity rocket. The Luminosity push is going to take a while because they are spawning very far out, Jack.
And look at how far out not only the spawns came in, but Splyce had full peace of mind and knowledge that LG were 4 hitting the warehouse. That's why they easily held that off. They had no one watching Curb. Here's the second attempt here for the break. LG pushing on through.
That was a 4v2. Now they're trying to crack in. Bance, once again, kind of last man in a position. He gets 1 kill and he gets away. With just over 20 seconds, they're going to take another crack at this. They're going to play behind the Scarab, see if it can tag up 1 or 2 players. I think they're able to at least weaken 1. And Bance already getting very close to this camo. He's on the 6th streak. You got to play your life for streaks here. Do you like this choice to back up a bit?
I do, but it seems like he's just going all the way across the map, because now Splyce has realized that while we contested for the last 5 or so seconds, we have nobody cross the map. We cannot get Hanger up. Wow. And you see the shots from Bance right onto Slack. Man, those are such accurate shots with the SMG.
He is just melting right now. It ends at an 8 streak, but not before he's fully streaked out. Jack, how impressive are those shots with an ERAD in that position?
There's a reason why Bance made it to a Call of Duty World League Championship Grand Final last year. There's a reason why he's consistently been finding himself on the main stage. It's because of plays like that. Questionable challenge all by himself, only 1 kill off streaks, but you know what? He's feeling himself right now. Go for it, Bance, my friend.
I think that's the only answer. He is feeling confident, but it's Saints. Back in with a 2-piece here for Luminosity. The close rock spawn coming in for Splyce, and here comes the push. You're not going to mess with me with the ERAD wrapping around the edge. Assist on 1, kill on another. The hipfire connects, and he's 250 now off the Trinity rocket. Everybody from Splyce wiped off the map, and this is going to be all but a tie game right now after Hanger.
Yeah, when you go on with Saints, you can tell when he's really in the game. You see that movement that he's able to put together with the ERAD. Picks up a K-bar, picks up 1 more. Currently on a 3 streak. It'd be huge if he can earn these score streaks.
A combined 9 streak now between LG, and look, the score reflects it. Haven't heard any USA chants yet from the crowd, but they're definitely getting behind this comeback at the moment. LG now take the lead.
Streaks, though, starting to rein in. A couple kills going the way of Splyce. The kill feed all going to be yellow right now. Can Slack answer back? No. Zero gets the better of him, and Splyce still maintaining control at Drill with 30 seconds left. Maybe they can build a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah,
my God.
Oh, just the shots from the guys from Europe, man. I mean, we've seen in years past, European Call of Duty, they've been right there. But this is the first team we've seen them put together that can take down the big dogs in NA.
Well, I think even years ago when TCM had that 3rd place finish, it wasn't expected. Right now, I think the biggest difference is you expect them to get to this point.
Well, it wasn't expected, and it was the way they were winning, right? They weren't just showing up and just outslaying opponents. More of a methodical game, more strategy behind it then. This team, Splyce, they are coming in and they are challenging the Americans gun on gun, and they are taking it to them.
3 of the 4 players on Splyce now positive. We talked about it throughout the weekend. The Slang team in Hardpoint wins 85% of the matches because of the kill difference they have. Splyce slowly trying to take control of that as we move into our 3rd rotation.
Stage 1 MVP 0. Had Luminosity won that series, Octane would have been MVP. And look at the game 1 so far. 0 plus 4. Octane having his worst map probably of the weekend. He is going to have to turn it around. Matt, do you think this is maybe just a map thing? What's going wrong with Octane right now?
Yeah, I think it's just a map thing, right? They've had a little bit of a break. Splyce, they just got off of a match. You see Zero inside the center hard point. LG, they have to push all the way through. You see the spawns coming in for Splyce. They have control of this next hard point.
The FTL right onto the face of Bance. Good job playing his life. A couple kills going towards Luminosity, and now the push going to come in. There's one in the very back. Do they spot him? Zero's able to find one. He finds a second there with reactive. Huge play coming in from Zero. He actually didn't even have to use it. I thought he popped it in the back to stay alive.
Here's the thing, man. You never doubt Zero right now. It shows how good he is. Luminosity having to use what they can to go for the break. Camo towards the back. Reactive. Not going to get it done. The second challenge is in. A nice clean break right there for LG. And I think that's a great play, Matt, because they just got the reactive bird from Zero as well.
It's huge for Luminosity. They're able to get inside this hard point. Still a ton of time left on this hill. They can actually take the lead, but here comes Bance with an active camo of his own. Gets outside of the hill, kills one in the back, not able to get back towards the hard point. but it's Slack with a big two-piece, keeping LG alive.
But the last man standing is going to be Mad Cat. He'll be holding on. They can't win it here, but with 15 seconds left, they can almost put it out of reach.
That's the big thing. Look at what LG are doing right now. They're flooding towards this hard point. They're expecting to get those far back spawns at the new hill. Thankfully, they at least have one there. Splyce get a split spawn. These next two gunfights are the entire game for LG.
Classic. Can he come up clutch? He's the first man into the hard point. I believe it was Zero who dipped out and went underneath. He actually gets caught by Slack as well. LG need the perfect hold here in Hangar. Can they get it done? Spots one on Skybridge. A couple players pushing from rocks as well. All of Classic's teammates picking it up. Him not having to get any gunfights is your perfect scenario. They also have Centurion
They have a Centurion on the front. They know every push has to come from the back. First engagement now from Classic. Tagged one up, but it's the rest of Splyce storming out into two-piece from Octane. Oh my God, when you need him most, the man is there.
A -10 to an explosion. 5 in a row. 10 points away is Octane going dad mode.
Daddy's home.
Fully streaked out. 3 more ticks and this one is done. Luminosity hasn't closed it out yet. That might be the final kill, but they're still fighting back and forth. My God.
1 second is all LG needs. They'll at least see, I believe, one more hard point. It wasn't enough quite yet. 1v1, they'll try to soar in. They've gotten there in time. Zero's got to get the hard point. They're still alive.
Zero holding on, 241 to 249. Saints able to cut him down. Still contesting inside. Saints now pops reactive armor, getting pushed out the edge. He's gonna drop. It's still Splyce. They're fighting. Jack.
Oh
They're
my
fighting.
God!
Holding on.
249, 248. It's still contested. Splyce! Splyce! Win the game in the most dramatic fashion. The greatest hardpoint map I have ever casted. Are you okay, Maven?
How long was it sitting at 240, 249, 249? It felt like an eternity. I'm sure it was only 3 to 4 seconds. It felt like a damn eternity. Welcome to the Anaheim Open Grand Finals. Wow.
It felt like it was like 4 or 5 seconds. They were sitting on 249, 249. We were on with Octane. He had streaks. Did he ever get a chance to even use it?
Oh, no. You're not even thinking about streaks at that point. The only call it is sprint to the hard point, sprint to the hard point. It reminds me of that FaZe versus Rise Nation from their week in Stage 1. And we talked to the players afterwards. The only comms were getting the hard point over and over and over again.
I just yelled Daddy's home on broadcast. I'm just hoping I keep my job. Wow. But where was that? Octane, I think, got more kills in that one
final minute
than the entire first 2 rotations.
Oh, yeah, he was, I think we called him out -7 or something like that. Then, like, a light switch. 7 kills erupt in a row inside a hangar. I'm shaking. I'm actually shaking. Wow. Well, let's take a look at the box score. Zero, your MVP. Most hill time on Splyce, 31 kills for him. What a performance.
And Splyce is somehow able to win this game. Look at how bad they got outscored on Hangar. 116 to 21. Wow. An insane hardpoint game to kick off the grand final.
That's one that I cannot wait to rewatch the closing moments, because I'll tell you what, as a viewer, I'm sure it's difficult as well, but we're casting that and all I'm staring at is the minimap as you just see arrow, arrow, arrow flooding towards the hard point. What a dramatic finish. Tweet the stream. This is gonna go down as one of the greatest series. If the rest is anything like that game 1, holy hell.
We have been blessed with incredible finals, it seems, on North American soil so far this year. You think of the E United versus Optic ones earlier on, at Atlanta, as well as Dallas, and now, Matt, what a start to this series. That was the most insane match I've ever
It's this venue, man. I mean, you look back, Black Ops 2, that grand final, Complexity, Perigo, Impact, that was nuts. You remember, I believe it was Ghost. Complexity, EG, against Optic Gaming. We all remember that Octane domination. They get a 3-hold all the way back. It's just Anaheim, man, produces some of the best moments in Call of Duty esports.
And you love, it's the energy from the crowd. You see the guy standing there, it's just like shell shock. And then Splyce, man, on their feet, erupting. I know it's probably late right now in Europe. What, going on 10, 11 o'clock? I don't even know what time it is.
I don't know
here,
what time
actually.
it is there, yeah.
Oh, no, we're on the West Coast, so it's a lot later than that. Yeah. I forgot where I was.
Can confirm Anaheim is located in California.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. Well, either way, as we take a brief moment here, folks in the crowd in Anaheim, you guys like that game 1? Oh, yeah. I love Thunder Sticks.
As do I. But remember now, the repeats that we have from the Stage 1 final are going to be the Game 2 Crusher, which was Game 5 that went to around 11, and then also the Retaliation Hardpoint, which Splyce won. But the biggest thing right now, I know we're just calming down from the finish of that Game 1, the biggest question I think for anyone was, is Splyce going to be able to take a respawn? If so, which one's it going to be? They get a dramatic Game 1 win. That's so big, man.
Yeah, I mean, they take it in that fashion, too. I mean, LG's got to be crushed. I mean, they think they're making this comeback. They get it all the way to 49 and not able to close it out. Now you start this second map right away, Jack. You go into this S&D. This is where LG can be vulnerable.
I'm trying to think right now. I don't think they've dropped a map at all today. So that's their first map loss.
Yeah, you're right.
So far on Championship Sunday. And what a dramatic way to lose it as well. We're heading to Search and Destroy, Maven. Hopefully this one's just as close. So last time these two teams played on Crusher Search and Destroy, it was Game 5. It went to a round 11 where Splyce were able to take it to crown themselves as Stage 1 playoffs champions.
And remember, when that run, you had Splyce, who went undefeated in Search and Destroy during playoffs. Luminosity, it was their best game mode, despite the fact it's where they've struggled most of the year. Splyce wins both the Search and Destroys against them. So as good as, I guess, as much as Luminosity has improved, Matt, you still have to think Splyce is going to have their number.
Well, you're looking at some of the best European S&D players of all time. I mean, Mad Cat, that's kind of, where he's really made his mark on North American soil, winning Search and Destroys against these top NA teams. And the two youngest players, to this roster, Zero and Vance, very good in the game mode as well.
And when I talked to Octane outside, it was after one of their matches earlier in the day as they rolled somebody on Crusher. He said, if we feel confident on any Search map, it's Crusher. Are they going to bring it here?
Folks, get out there, share the stream. We're live everywhere right now. MLG.TV/Call of Duty. Use the hashtag CWL Anaheim. Let the people know it's time for Game 2, Splyce versus LG.
On board first, it's going to be Mad Cat as he gets a couple bullets in against Octane at long range. You got to be scared when you're challenging him. Octane probably peeked him over the top, but thankfully, Mad Cat has some cover coming through with him. That's Jerd pushing L-Wall. They're flying in. The assist does come through. Kills going the way of Splyce so far.
Yeah, we saw, Splyce, with their guys going up the middle there. Luminosity in their match against Epsilon. They had Octane in mid-map. Josh was able to pick him out a few times. That's how Epsilon made that second S&D on Breakout close. But you see Splyce at the beginning of this one go right up the gut, trying to catch Octane off guard.
Slack, though, quickly going to be into a 1 versus 2. Let's see if he can pull this off. You see the yellow arrows on the minimap, making sure to take advantage of the buddy system here as they're going to pal around the map all the way down towards the B side, Jack.
Slack, what can you do here? Number disadvantage. Does he get the timing? Not going to look like it quite yet. 30 seconds left. He knows Splyce have to begin to plant this bomb some point soon. Gets the information he needs. Challenges first. 1 versus 1. The second player just around the corner. Slack is there. Not going to happen as Jerd cleans him up. But I want to quickly mention this, Matt. How insane of a team do you have to be to 3-man fly high middle at Octane, arguably the best shooting AR in Infinite Warfare so far? They get great timing there and it works out for them.
Oh, Splyce is a confident bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever spoken to Vance or Zero, I mean, they're going for it. I mean, I remember after Vance, we had that, he popped his active camo. I think it was a Game 5 against Optic, and we were just like, what the hell were you thinking? He just started laughing. He's like, oh, I'm trying to make a play. It's like, these guys, the moment does not faze them at all.
Well, let's take a look at round 2. You see the defensive stack at B. Unfortunately for them, control of the A site now completely to Luminosity, and they're going to get a quick plant down. Everybody hitting mid now for Splyce. We're going to watch it. Vance, his POV as he starts to peek in, able to tag up one, maybe get a bullet in another. Just waiting now, biding their time as they're going to need to pounce.
This pressure through you is so tough. They know there's someone in this close corner. They're going to have to back on up. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Classic right now. Just staying alive, and he still gets first blood with the E-Rad.
Jerd, though, able to answer back. Saints finds one on Luminosity. It's back and forth, a 2v2. 15 seconds left to work a defuse. Spots one up top, knows he saw one go out the back door as well. Zero's gonna need some help here as he hunts the kill. Can't get it done. Mad Cat falls as well, and we're all tied up, Matt.
Yeah, and for me, Classic is the MVP of that round, able to stay alive so long in the corner, burn a lot of the clock, and get that first blood. Gave LG a ton of time to work with.
3 players challenging him, and he's in a quite obvious spot in that close corner, but he just uses his boost perfectly, stays alive. A tough retake against one of the better teams at holding that inside close hectic A site.
All right, well, here we are, all tied up into round 3. Splyce now back to offense. See how the push works out. You see mostly a defensive stack at mid and the A site coming in for Luminosity. Splyce right now setting up for a slow attack.
They're going to take their time with this one. You might as well, right? You're looking for any potential first blood. You know mid lane's really not an option now after you already hit it one round. And Octane's going to get his team so much information. Look, he doesn't even shoot, but the big thing there for Splyce is that they spot him back. They know he saw them crossing, so they fall on back and replant the bomb.
And I think, you know, for Splyce, maybe they're going to play some slow rounds because they know how Luminosity, all they do is 4-hit, 4-hit, 4-hit everything. This time they play a little slow, they get the plan, but now Luminosity about to attack.
And Jerd is in trouble. He's going to get pinched by players on LG. Classic with 2, making everybody now falling for the side of Splyce. And that was a quick one.
And Luminosity feels confident in those situations. If they're going to take a 4-on-4 fight to another team, that's their bread and butter, man. They 4-hit everything.
So right there, what did we see? We saw Octane watch 3 players attempt to cross. Splyce saw him, knew that they were going there. 2 of them fell back, 1 stayed pushed at rocks. LG threw 2 flechettes, 2 tacticals at Jerd. He was 1 shot when they pushed in. He was all by himself on that side of rocks, Matt. Questionable decision on my part.
Yeah, and that positioning from Jerd also forces Madcat to jump out and kind of help him, get him killed as well. So it's a good play there from Luminosity, not the best position from Splyce.
All right, well, let's see how things start to develop in round 4. Jerd starting to sneak forward. Are they going to be ready to check this on the flank? You can see at number 7 on the minimap, that's Octane. That's going to be looking at the backside. He probably just got spotted. Jerd pushes, though. Can't win the gunfight. That's Slack with the K-bar getting it done. Vance starting to mount, sees one on the wall run, tags him up, but not able to finish the kill. His buddy's there to help him. He almost lines up both, but now it's going to be Madcat by himself in a 1 versus 3, trying to make the play, but as he puts shots in, he should be collapsed on, and that's another round going to Octane and company.
Look at what you just saw right there. Slack was in the only one-on-one gunfight. From then on out, every player on Splyce had 2 people shooting at him. You see in the top right there. 3 hits from Octane, the final bullet from Saints.
Yeah, and LG is great at just baiting and switching, but they do it at like different levels of elevation, right? You see there's Slack going high, they have the 1 player behind the box. You can't line those players up, get a collab, or really kind of 2-piece them in any way. Makes it very easy to close these rounds out.
Well, as much as we've talked about the LG side for Octane and Saints' performance, Slack right now, the man getting it done. He's 6-1. We know how consistent he can be, but it's classic with an opening 2-piece. Madcat trying to answer back, knows there's 1 weak at the edge. The slide's gonna allow him to get away with his life, but just like that, the dominoes fall and LG take another round.
I mean, this is all LG could ever ask for. 4v4, straight-up gunfights in long ranges on Crush or Search and Destroy.
Well, how can you change it then? What would you do differently if you're Splyce to kind of combat this?
Think of what we saw from Splyce when they faced LG on this exact map earlier in the year at Stage 1 playoffs. They spot those players pushing towards B. They immediately give that up, rotate towards middle, and can either go into A or rewrap the B bomb.
Yeah, I think you go into A. If you're Splyce, I think you run another rerad, you get in towards A, you make LG fight close quarter.
Okay, 125 off the Trinity rocket, though, is Slack. We know how effective that can be at this B site. He's going to go ahead and get the wall run. You want to try and set him up to get this bomb planted so he gets these 100 points. That way, he's just an assist away. The timing could end up unfortunate for him, but Classic is here to cover him. Trophy able to keep them off. Nades out to try and back him up. Slack still 25 off, picking up these streaks.
Classic's just going to hold this mid lane, gonna be up to Splyce to try to retake. I don't know why Classic's running into there. He's basically baiting himself out. Slack at least earns 2 streaks. Octane all by himself in the 1-on-3. Not gonna happen, Matt. I don't know what Classic's goal was right there.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about all he needs to do is hold the angle, and that's exactly what he needed to. And then he just runs right into that hallway, gets himself killed. You cannot give up that first blood that easy once you get bombed down.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No,
I mean, it's not like you have Slack on the outside. It's not like he's yelling, let's hit this, because he's trying to play for his streaks. I don't know what the call was there. Maybe it's a little bit of a misplay from Classic.
Even if they were trying to bait to get him his streak, Slack would be in the middle there with him, looking down the same hallway.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't make any sense out of LG.
If there's a silver lining, I guess, for Luminosity there, Slack at least does earn 2 of his 3 score streaks. We'll see how that comes to play later on. For now, though, it's Splyce back on offense. So far, you've been holding a lot of L's on this side of the map. It looks like they're going to go for this B pressure again.
And what's interesting, if they get this quick plant down, we know Luminosity, they're confident in their ability to retake on this site. Also, you now have the Scarab from Slack, so if he wants to lead in with that, makes it even easier for them to push into attack.
They're not even going to use the Trinity yet. Okay, there it goes, but the bomb will be planted. That's the big thing here. The objective goes down. at least gets one. Classic with the cleanup there. Nice job by LG.
That's perfect. The one player that gets tagged does get weakened as well. Classic takes another gunfight. Mad Cat, buddy, you are God. Crispy from Classic.
Classic at 9-5, Slacked at 9-2. Dominating game number 2 in the grand finals here. I know you also are in the vision with that Trinity rocket, right? So Slack can call out where those two players are coming on the wall run, Jack, and they're able to pick up those 2 kills with ease.
Well, I think that's what speaks to how good this team has been, because I know we talk about Octane and Saints, the fact that they've just been so good with respawn KDs in Search and Destroy, but Slacked and Classic haven't been slashes either. Everybody's sitting over a 1.0 KD. You've got a 1.2 for Slacked and Search and Destroy. They've all been putting up, man.
Listen, if you've been a viewer of the CWL throughout the year, gotta commend Mr. X. He said it months ago, if LG can just get to 50% win rate in S&D, they will win major LAN championships. They're right now at 60% this weekend, and look at where they have themselves, a potential 1-1 tie in the grand final.
One of the nicest things Jack's ever said about me.
Yeah, he's going to take it back off.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's I think we all agreed with you. We know how good they are in the respawn. Seems the Search is coming together as well, but not this round. It's Octane by himself. He's going to pop camo. He's a 1 versus 2. This is actually... He could do this. Can he get behind? There's the first kill. Able to get away with his life. He has bomb in hand still. Octane, Sam, trying to clutch, and he just got vision on his opposition. Yeah, don't challenge me.
Ooh, just gets away. Just gets away. Reset the map. He wants this round, though. He wants to end this with an exclamation point for a potential 16.
That is a ballsy use of camo, too. I mean, he's inside there. He's getting tagged up. He uses his camo, just darts right at a guy, shoots and melees.
He should be dead, because I think Zero saw him on the cross. Octane didn't spot him. He should be tagged up. That's unfortunate. Zero hits mid-map right as Octane's kind of shifting his focus to head towards the site. So you burn camo there. Matt, do you think this maybe opens up the ability for a comeback a little bit more now?
Well, I was going to say, 5-3. No Trinity rocket now on the side of LG. No camo. So it definitely gives an opportunity for Splyce to get right back in this game.
I mean, I don't fault Octane at all. I think the way you've been playing, man, you got camo there in a 1v2. You try and close it out. But now, with hindsight being 2020, you've got a chance if you're Splyce due to that play.
I'm trying to think of a time where LG gave up a 5-2 round count lead by a couple poor uses of payload abilities, especially active camo. Oh yeah, Stage 1 against Optic Gaming, but they're Slack getting killed by his own Scarab. They call it in, and that was, I believe, Jerd inside you who shoots it right away.
Well, you've already used the Trinity. You'll get nothing out of the Scarab other than a team kill on yourself. I know.
Already used the camo.
Suicide. You've already used camo. So things couldn't get worse for Luminosity. They just have. The bomb will go down over at B. Splyce trying to get within 1 round.
And we know how good they feel about the 4v4 retake. This time, you have to do it down a man, but I wouldn't count out this Luminosity crew in this spot. They're starting to inch forward. They know they tagged one up at the back box. They're very familiar with where the spots are going to be from these players. The question is, who is going to get the opening kill? It's going to be Zero with 2. You're going to trade it back from Octane, but too much to do. 5-4, Splyce fighting back.
Matt, it seems like Luminosity, though, I will commend them, are one of the better teams at always having a tactical or a lethal grenade ready to go on a retake. You see right there, how tough is it normally to slide right through that underpass area? Well, what do? We soften up the guy watching from the outer crates, we soften up the guy on the site with our final 2 flechette grenades, and then we push right forward after it. They at least gave themselves a chance if they were ready for Zero on that wall run.
Yeah, I mean, they almost play Search and Destroy in those situations like you would when you're breaking a hill in Hardpoint. Yep. I mean, they're just going right at them, using the tacticals, using the nades to get players weak and then trade them out.
Well, here we go. Classic leading the way with the bomb. Good for them, at least Bance is not that close to camo. Zero, though, is going to be getting near reactive armor, but there's a very quick flank. Coming in behind is going to be Jerd. Octane turns and snaps at the perfect time. Advantage to LG. They just have to close out this 4-3 game in order to tie up the series at 1-1.
They just got blessed with the timing right there for Octane. Zero knows there's someone close here. This is their chance to come back around. They'll have to challenge, wins the 1v1. Reactive armor now dead, though. Doesn't get to use it. Octane's there. Bance all by himself in the 1-on-2.
Vance at least getting away with his life. Maybe they don't expect him to get aggressive, but the Centurion tags him. They're probably going to realize he's pushing through. Nobody turned yet. There goes the challenge. They're going to sync up. He only has 25 seconds here to work with. He has to get the defuse as well. He's just got to go. Somehow win a perfect gunfight. Can't get it done. Our series is tied up, and I'll tell you what, I don't think we expected the first 2 games to go this way. Splyce win the Hardpoint, Luminosity win the Search and Destroy. Jack, what is this best of 5?
Oh, I have no idea, but it's only right that this is how it plays out of the CWL Anaheim Open Grand Finals. presented by PS4, and we've got Uplink coming up next. These are two of the best teams in the world in this game mode.
Oh, without a doubt. Splyce is explosive in Uplink, but Luminosity, man, their slaying power in Uplink, I believe, looking at some of the stats before this, have not gotten outslayed in an Uplink match all weekend long.
You have that slaying number basically going up against Splyce, only dropping one Uplink the entire weekend. Guys, it's the grand final. It's Europe. It's North America. Splyce going up against Luminosity. Our series is tied up 1-1. If you haven't tweeted the stream yet, do it. We had a crazy Hardpoint. Madness in the search and destroy. And coming up next, it's going to be Uplink. It's Splyce best game mode. We'll see you after this quick break.
Here's a look at our final G Fuel key player matchup of the weekend, and it's only right it's between arguably our two MVPs from stage one for their respective squads, Octane and Zero. Expect to see some insane AR battles here in Uplink. Octane this weekend just shy of a 1.40 Uplink KD, while not only has Zero put up crazy numbers in slaying, but look at the points he's put on the board for his team. He's a renaissance man across the board. These are two of the best players in competitive Call of Duty going at it in our key player matchup.
Definitely LG, I could see winning. I know they've won a couple, but I could really see them coming out and being really strong.
Definitely LG, and they showed that at Season 1. I think LG is the next breakthrough team if that were to happen. I think that they showed that their search and destroy has improved a little bit, which was their obvious weakness. The past events, their respawn is probably the best in the games. Everyone kind of figures out what to do and how to win, and it just comes down to executing, and as long as they do that, they should be able to win more matches than they have in the past, which in turn would lead to a championship.
LG can win because they were close already compared to stage one. Their respawn's really good, so all you have to do is just win that surge and they're there.
And we are back. We're live. It's Puckett here in the crowd, and I am next to two of the loudest people that have been in the venue all 3 days. You saw this man falling on the ground after Optic won. They're out of the tournament, so I have to ask you, who are you cheering for right now? Is it Luminosity, or are you cheering on Splyce?
I'm here for the fun of the game. I don't cheer for anybody but Optic.
I'm here for the same reason, brother. Also a paycheck. On my right, though, this man, you have lost your voice. When did this go out?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Are you still having a good time, though?
It's been the best time of my life.
Are you guys having fun back there? It's coming up right now.
Yeah, that was incredible. The fans getting hyped. You gotta love it. I know there are some of you, your team has been knocked out, but you're here. You're rooting for an amazing grand final at the CWL Anaheim Open. And guys, it is now time for Uplink. It's on Throwback. Jack, neither team has lost here.
Oh, goodness. I didn't even know that stat. You didn't even warn me coming into this because it just blew my mind. I don't even know how to begin to predict this match. I'm going to prefer this one to Matt.
Well, look, I think you look at this map going into Throwback. I think you look at both of these teams as we take a look at the Crusher Search and Destroy box score, as that was game number 2. But you go into game number 3, the Uplink. I think this is going to come down to the aggressive players on both teams. I'm looking at Saints, man. I think Saints could have a big game here for LG. Swing the series in their favor.
Well, I remember back to the Stage 1 playoffs, and this is a map where it was Luminosity able to take it off of Optic Gaming, and it was all Saints and Classic just in their face constantly. It makes things so easy for Octane when he's playing in the back. When Classic and crew are like that, Saints are in your face over and over and over again. It's tough to deal with, Jack.
Both of these teams, though, excel at rallying the drone forward. They know where to position themselves. Not only put on the hurt for a quick dunk, but then play in the opponent's base. Jern is fantastic for Splyce. And on the side of LG, you mentioned Saints again, can definitely do a number.
And don't let that 1.03 overall KD confuse you. I mean, he has been a little bit subpar inside Search and Destroy because Octane's been like hard carrying that with a 1.4, but he's been nuts, man. Sitting at a 1-2, think about that. You come in here with 2 different players on one roster at above a 1-2 in respawn, that's insane.
It's crazy. It's like what we used to see from Optic Gaming with Scump and Formal, right? They're kind of forming this new duo. You thought it was really Octane and Slack. You know, Saints could never really get things going. This is the best we've seen Saints play since probably Ghost way back, where he was an absolute beast.
Coming into this matchup, Luminosity have been on average outslaying their opponents in Uplink by 14 kills. #1 in the tournament. We'll see how Splyce can fare against the insane slaying power here on Throwback Uplink.
A lot of people say S&D wins championships. For Luminosity, Slaying wins championships. And we can see if they can do it here. But for the kickoff, let's start it off with Bance of Splyce. Can EU bounce back after an S&D loss?
Well, it's just like pro sports, right? When one team is just so good at one thing, it doesn't really matter. You can just kind of use that and carry it to a title. The only issue is now they're running up to a team that is almost as good as they are in that category.
Well, here we go. Quick points maybe on the board. Mad Cat up and away. And there you go. They strike. And that's I mean, a big part of Bance for me. He just goes straight up mid-map, kills 2, and they get them all down and go, go, go.
But look who I talked about, being a thorn in the side of his opponents, but in space. Look at Jar to the minimap behind 3 players. Why would they ever expect him to be here? And oh my goodness, almost dies right away.
And the 2 players that probably jump out to my mind is getting in the back of a team spawn on Throwback and shredding them. Who have we seen major kill streaks from? We've seen Octane do it. He hit 9 earlier. 0, I can think of iconic plays where he sets up in the back and just absolutely dominates the competition. But if Octane's going to control this bike path side of the map, it's going to be very difficult for Splyce.
Oh, and he's doing it right now. Look, he's even passing the drone forward to his teammate. A quick one could potentially come in, but LG, they want more. Thankfully for LG fans, they will settle, tie up this game after our first minute of play.
Yeah, Octane gives the drone away because he has the NV4 in his hands, right? He can sit at that hay bale, he can pick off players from range. Maybe they're able to force that one in for 2, but they settle for the 1-point play to tie it up.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This time you see it from Splyce's POV. Octane is going to be a turret on this side of the map. The question is, can they get past him? The answer is no. Not only did he get Jerd, he also picks up 0 right after that. How, Jack, do you think Splyce can combat, like specifically on this side of the map when Octane's playing the way he has been?
Oh, they just need to basically have 3 people shoot at him at once. Simple as that. No one's going to beat him in a one-on-one gunfight except for really the likes of Zero from that range. You see Zero still with the NV4, but when you have an NV4 right there against Saints, you're going to lose 10 out of 10 times.
I feel like that, the bike path side of the map has basically been designed for players like Zero and Octane. They do it so well at range, and well, let's be honest, we very rarely see the drone ever taken up through Courtyard. The entire game is pretty much played through kind of that mid-map through the bottom side.
Well, here's the difference between these 2 teams right now. Zero not able to get to that position on bike path because his teammates not able to push out towards mid-map, not able to push Luminosity a little bit further back. So Octane just dominating this bike path area.
And we talk about why it happens. It's because of the slaying power they bring to the game. Right now, 3 players positive. Slack having a little bit of an off map, but you know what? His teammates are there to back him up. A nice pass over to Octane from the opposition. should give him a chance for a 1 interception. Nicely done. Splyce keep the game tied.
And they're able to just narrowly get it out before Octane shreds three. The base completely locked down now for Luminosity. Slack coming in with the drone. Everybody getting melted. 4 points on the board.
Does it not look like the game is slower paced for him, the way he shoots with this NV4? I mean, the guy is just shredding through everyone, gets 4 before he finally dies.
It's just like how when you watch Scump with an E-Rad in his hands, it just looks like he kills faster. When we watch his NV4, like, it looks like he's doing extra damage. When we casted a game earlier where on this map, Octane had double the amount of kills as the next other highest person in the lobby. This is the map where you said you went and spoke to him. He said, oh, I didn't call out. I was only focusing on kills. He did it on throwback.
Yeah, it was, I think, 38 and 20, something to that effect. Just completely destroyed. But now you have a chance to answer here if you're Splyce. Trailing by 1. You see on X-Ray, there's one waiting for him. Who else? It's Octane shutting down this side of the map time and time again. The man is 14 and 6. And if he can drop massive numbers while he's not calling out, you got to think how focused, how locked in he is right now in the grand final. This is truly something special.
Oh my gosh, you can just see how fast he's trying to snap onto opponents, not giving you a chance to miss any bullets or else you'll pay the ultimate price. Mad Cat doing what he can to clear this lane. It looks like he's done just enough now for that throw to go on through. So we'll be back to a tied game, and he even gets out with 2 kills.
Yeah, but Saints just playing on that statue for a little bit amount of time that was not allowed to get the 2-point play in for Splyce because they can't push all the way through there. You know that one player is still lingering in the back.
What do you think's going wrong for Slack right now, Matt? He's at 4 and 11. I know Octane's been kind of doing it all from a slang standpoint. Just a rough start, or what do you think he can fix?
Well, look, I mean, when Saints is playing as good as he is, and Classic's picking up kills, and Octane's just mowing down everybody on the map, difficult for Slack to get things going. And as we say that, he runs in, picks up a quick 2-piece, leads his team to a 1-point play.
Yeah, and look, Luminosity, what have we said so far? They want to keep the pressure on. Thankfully for Splyce fans, they're doing a pretty darn good job of making sure that there's a 1-point throw and that's it. They stop the bleeding, and you can say the same about LG so far in this game.
Slack gets 2 big kills on offense to get points on the board. He then slows down the counterattack from Splyce for a moment, but they're still coming in. 0, drone in hand, has to rely on his teammates to now clear the way. He's just gonna wait patiently. Bance gets 1, trying to go high. It's a deep toss. I don't think that was good regardless, but it will be cleared by Octane and company.
All right, so at the half, we'll have a 1-point game between LG and Splyce. Matt, is there one thing that Splyce can do to really give themselves an advantage in side 2 for you?
It's tough. I mean, you would say like slay out in the middle of the map and get some better control and kind of, I feel like they let LG kind of linger on their side of the bike path for way too long. But I mean, that's just kind of coming down to picking up kills mid-map. And I think what we saw with LG versus Epsilon, the game was close for a while. I believe it was like a 5-3, and then it went to like 7-3 at one point. Next thing you know, you turned around, they had like 15 points on the board.
Well, do you think with as impressive a performance as Octane has had, as he gets just ripped by 0 there, do you think maybe Luminosity should have more of a lead? It seemed like they were certainly on the attack a bit more through that first half.
Yeah, it seemed like they had a lot of control of the Splyce side of the map, just not able to rally the drone. So when you look at it that way, it's definitely a good first half for Splyce.
Well, right now, 0 continuing to shred towards that bike path side. That's exactly what he'll need to do. Again, Octane trying to get aggressive in middle. Bance is there to shut him down. 0 now on that 4 streak as he's now positive in this map.
Could these teams be more evenly matched? I mean, a map that is pretty high scoring generally for Uplink. It's just a 3-2 game. Nobody wants to break as the pressure continues to push now, but it's going to be Splyce this time, trying to hit through silo.
This is a side that Splyce always loved to push on offense on this map. Look at this. They get a quick little 1 through. They can push either in towards top market, use that back exit and barn, or rotate all the way towards that hay bale, Matt, and have 3 different lanes to go for a 1.
Yeah, it's a great point, Jack. A lot of teams, specifically the North American teams, they like to just go bike path or underpass straight up the middle. Splyce, when you see them on this side of the map, they go to the top side, they go to the bottom down by bike path, they go up the middle. They're not afraid to use the entire map, and it makes it very difficult to defend.
Here's it again, another 1. He missed, though. This time, just a straight up miss from the side of Splyce. Jerd, he knows that drone is still down. They haven't reset it yet. Tries to dance around, but Saints shoots him right in the
I thought for a second, I'm like, why don't you just clear this thing? Get it out of there. But there's 2 players there. They're able to hunt down Jerd and chop him down before anything else comes in. But a tight series. Jack, we're tied at 3-3.
And look what this does now, Matt. It forces LG to begin to play towards a side of the map that they're not used to being on. I mean, that's got to affect them in some way.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about as you see Mad Cat. He pops the overdrive. It's going to be a 2-point play. as Splyce takes the lead. But no, LG probably not used to the angles on that top side of the map, and the fast-paced nature of that close quarter area definitely could throw them off.
Well, you see what Octane does on that side of the map. What do? You take it to the other side. You know, don't allow him to be set up like a turret. Try to bring it to him in a different position. But now, Octane, he has his overdrive. Can he use it effectively here? He's getting tagged up from behind. The drone is stuck on through. There's nobody home. This may be a free dunk as he wraps the edge, just gets it through. We're tied up by 5.
Splyce wind up pushing so hard towards back bowling and bus, they just forget underpass is a thing right there.
You cannot let that happen. You get a lead against a team that's so talented like Luminosity, and you give it away with just a bonehead play.
You know what that reminds me of? Envy back in stage 1. How many times did we see teams execute on plays just like that? One hole in a setup where they wind up forcing their opponents to give up a dunk. LG now, they get 4 dead. There's the score, 7-5. They take the lead.
And that's the problem with a mistake like that. We don't know. Maybe the comms Splyce is kind of bickering right now. How do we allow that to happen? And suddenly, it turns into a snowball. You have drone in hand for Slack. Saints and company leading the way. At one point toss, it's up the way. It's intercepted. That's Splyce going big on defense. But you still have 2 players from LG setting up camp in your base.
But for viewers at home, that's extremely important. It keeps it a 1-possession game. Who's stuck in there? Classic stuck in there with the camo. Another dunk for LG. A 6-straight point run.
It's a manual pass over the top. Classic pops camo, I believe, comes through bowling. He's able to pick it up and puts in another 2-point play. Now he's in the Splyce base and he's on a 4 streak.
I like that, man. A deep route as you slip it through. Classic going huge. There's a pass to the back. There's Saints here. This is going to be another dunk. What has happened in this game? Jackie got flipped on its head quickly.
What has happened to the game? What did I say before this map started? When LG get the setup they want, they're one of the best teams in competitive Call of Duty at rallying the drone. 8 points in 90 seconds.
This is the same way the Uplink went against Epsilon, like I was talking about in the pregame. You know, it was very close. It was like 5-3, 7-3. And then next thing you know, one mistake from Epsilon and LG breaks it open.
And it kind of seems like that, right? One mistake, you let somebody slip through, and then it's like the wall, the defense that has been Splyce just crumbles before our very eyes. And Splyce, remember, they only lost 1 uplink coming into this. They hadn't lost the throwback uplink, and they've been pounded over the last 2 minutes.
They had an 88% uplink win rate this weekend. When you talk about must-win maps against a team like LG, this is 1. Saints now +4. You've got Octane at +9. Classics moved into the green and KD, and Slack is on a 3 streak. LG are now firing on all cylinders. They know they've got this game in the bag, but Slack wants to add on more.
Slack 6 in a row, Jack. 20 seconds left. He keeps on going. Finally falls, but this is gonna be another game for LG. Jack, how impressed are you, buddy?
They want revenge. You can see it in how they're playing. They're gonna go to a game 4 hardpoint, arguably their best game mode, up 2-1.
As the crowd lets them hear it, this is the big thing. We're now going to a retaliation hardpoint, and that's where Splyce was able to beat them. I think it was something like 250 to 220 at the Stage 1 playoffs. They already got 1 respawn done on the hardpoint. I mean, surely Splyce can't take 2 hardpoints off LG, right?
No, it'd be highly unlikely. Splyce, their backs against the wall going into game number 4 in a game mode and map combination that suits LG very, very well.
Jack, does it end here? Is Splyce going to be able to extend this?
I love the Europeans out there, but NA wins today. Luminosity, I think, take this one home 3-1 in game 4. Here's your maps. If you missed game 1, you can find the VOD after this and go watch it, no matter what team you're a fan of. That was just great Call of Duty. Splyce won that by 1 second. They're going to need to do the same thing here on retaliation to force a game 5.
And every game has been close. I mean, even that uplink score is a little more drastic than it kind of was. It was really just 2 minutes that kind of opened it up, where you had a 1-point game throughout most of it. But that's what's so scary about Luminosity. It's like a light switch, man. All of a sudden, they just go at you. They hit it hard. It was incredible.
You make the same case for the game, too, as well. You know, LG gets a lot of utility early. They get the camo early. They get some score streaks. And they only win that one 6-4. Very close game, too.
Well, it's all going to come down to retaliation. I know we all want to see a game 5, but it just seems like this Luminosity roster is absolutely dialed in. Like you said, they want revenge from the Stage 1 playoffs. And Jack, also, like, this matchup, how much is this going to become the norm? I know it's just a couple times in the past few weeks we've seen it, but it looks like we can see this again at Champs, for God's sake.
I think a lot of people's power rankings will be shifting quite drastically this weekend. I want to point out one thing. We talked about the individual performances from Stage 1 playoffs from both Zero as well as Octane. Octane has really almost improved since then. Zero, yep, he still had a great weekend, but his numbers have definitely gone down. Talk about a test for him right here on Retaliation Hardpoint in that NV4 battle versus Octane.
Well, remember when we did the roundtable kind of coming into this, when we talked about it, the reason that we kind of picked Luminosity, at least I felt they could do better than Splyce, is I felt more confident about Octane replicating his statistics. And he's just improved on that, like you said. Zero, he has a top 5 overall KD through bracket play. It almost seemed like there was no way he could match that, and he has it. Granted, he's still been superb, but I think the most ridiculous thing is how has Octane improved?
The 4 guys on LG are just so consistent from event to event. I mean, once you got Saints clicking, that was really the X factor.
Yes, that's
once they got Saints kind of on board and slaying. You look at this roster top to bottom. It's like we have never seen. Maybe I guess I'm going to kind of go out on a limb here. A roster just so stacked top to bottom and guys who can just put up numbers. Like large numbers in the slaying department. This roster is sick.
If you had any worries about a potential roster change a few weeks ago for LG, I'm going to go out and say it. I think you throw those right out the window. I don't see how you make a change with this team on the verge of Stage 2 with Champs just 2 months away. There is a reason why they're 1 map from being crowned our grand champions.
I think there was an argument for it before, Jack, with the way they were winning some of these games, but to come in here this weekend and the fashion they've been winning them. They've been blowing a lot of teams out. Splyce playing them tough here in the grand finals. But to get to this point, LG was blowing the doors with teams.
You had 2 European teams in the top 3. Fans out there, I know it's approaching 2 a.m. for you if you're rooting on Splyce. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for rooting on your team. Here we go. Can LG close it out? Or can Splyce push this to the all-important Game 5?
You definitely had someone tweet you what time it was in the UK.
Oh, yeah, there's no way he did.
I had like 20.
Yeah, there was no way you knew what the time zone differential was. Either way, though, let's get it started. It's going to be Retaliation Hardpoint. Well, Matt, you didn't give your thoughts. Does this end here, or are we going to a Game 5?
Oh, I think it does. Okay. As much as I want to see a Game 5, I just can't really see Splyce taking 2 hard points off of LG.
You both shut your mouths, because Zero, my best friend in the whole world, is going to come out and dominate. Splyce is taking this game.
Well, let's see it. Octane already tagged up from the nade. They know he loves to push towards this area, and there's a second from Jerd with love. He says that Flechette written on it, as now it's 5-1 LG off the break, but it's Splyce going for the pinch.
Look at Mad Cat's POVs. He's trying to put shots over the top. It's Zero in front. Him just looking to rain down fire. Zero picks up 2, 3 total before he dies. Kills just going back and forth. It's been hard for anyone to gain ground here at the hard point.
Look at these NV4s flying high, putting shots down from range. Both teams just trying to get to that hill for a brief moment. It's Mad Cat and Zero now out-muscling LG as they'll look to put up their first big points on the board.
Yeah, Jerd starting off 1 and 2. You definitely want to look at Jerd on this map. Plays very fast, usually with an ERAD, loves the submachine guns. This is a map where you see a lot more NV4s, a lot more K-bars, the ERAD not as viable. See how he comes out and plays.
Well, now you have several players coming off a spawn from Splyce, and you're off to the races. Kind of window control, patio control, going to be so crucial here. You see 3 blue arrows set up, trying to overlook this lower street. Ooh, but Vance somehow, he's finding a kill. Mad Cat as well. Beautiful stuff so far to hold on, but he's by himself now, man. It's just Vance.
They know exactly where he is. Somehow was even able to challenge Saints and get away with his life. And this is an example of a play, Matt, that we saw earlier in the hardpoint attack on Storage.
I don't know how you let that happen if you're LG. You know exactly where Vance is. You have a pin. He comes flying right out, takes the player out inside of the hardpoint. Luckily, for Luminosity, they're able to retain control of this hill. They have players rotating over towards Cathedral as well.
Yeah, that's the story of the next 20 seconds. You're getting time if you're LG, but are you also able to set up for the next hard point? Slack the guy in a key position. Andy just spawned Classic out that left side of the map. They're looking poised to rally here between Lower Street and into Graveyard. These key fights, can we hop over to Classic? Yeah, Classic's going to be the cutoff from Bridge and Curb. He's got a lot of pressure on him here.
In Classic, 4-4 right now, waiting for the pressure from Splyce. First blood for Slack. They're going to have the number advantage as Splyce go for this retake. It looks like it's not going to work out here as there's a quick trade through Slack, but Vance finds Saints. Was he calling it a streak?
Well, I think it was bad timing. I think maybe for Classic, he doesn't see him hitting Bridge as he checks into Curb. I guess he was calling it a Scarab.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. He's going to call in the Scarab, maybe push it out. Fortunate for LG, they get control of the hill. You have Octane on a 5 streak, Select on a 5 streak, and there are the score streaks for Octane. light it all up yellow on the right-hand side.
This is where it gets scary. Prior to the uplink, we talked about how LG outslayed their opponents in that game mode by an average of 14 kills, #1 in the tournament. If that wasn't bad enough, as we refocus to Hardpoint, LG this weekend have outslayed their opponents by an average of 13 kills, also #1 in the tournament.
Yeah, and #2 for that is with 7 kills. So it just shows you the difference between LG in this game mode and the rest of their teams.
And those are the stats I love. You know, it tells a bigger story than your typical KD for a team or individual performances. That's absolutely nuts. But as Saints starts to push across and maybe get behind enemy lines, can we actually go back to Saints? I want to see, is he going to be able to sneak up behind? Yes, he is. He goes underpass, gets in for free, finds 2 players. You cannot let that happen if you're Splyce. Jack, how'd that occur?
Not reasonable. They thought they had that lower bridge watched. Octane ends it off on a 7 streak, but the damage has been done. The man's already got 1 minute and 18 seconds in the hard point. Luminosity's up by almost 1.5 minutes. Splyce need to regain composure right now.
This lead is just building and building. We've got 20 seconds left. I mean, you have to get this right now if you're Splyce. At least try to climb back in it. I know if there's 2 maps you're going to claw back in from a major deficit, it's retaliation or breakout. So it is certainly possible here. This lead just cannot grow for Luminosity.
Well, you would say that, but LG does have streaks. Octane has those score streaks. I believe he's got the bombardment in the Trinity. So if you're out in Splyce, you need to get streaks before that next Cathedral Graveyard comes up, because you need it to break once the streaks come in from Luminosity.
You know, you're relying on Zero to have a massive series here in the final. He's sitting at 9 and 10. What? The counterpart, Octane, 11 and 5. Jack, what'd you see?
I don't know how Classic even lived that long to put shots in both players. Octane, again, like a turret in the position he's in, still gets out with his life just long enough. And look at the attention he's dragging towards his side. As LG come back off spawn, they're still up by 50 seconds, but Splyce slowly but surely coming back into this game.
Bance just dropped with a 4 streak. You know, you speak, Matt, how crucial it is for them to have somebody, anybody, pick up some streaks here as we get deeper into the game. Who's got to be the guy for you? Is it Zero or is it somebody else in this roster?
I mean, they just need anything, right? You know, maybe like a camo if they were able to go off for a little bit and get it. Some kind of payload ability or score streak to get into that 3rd and ever important hard point. I think you look right now, I mean, Zero's got to be that guy, right? I mean, you look at the rest of their team, nobody really putting together a good fight. It's got to be Zero for me.
Octane has been an absolute beast. He's on the camera now. You can see him as he's reacting. It's been absolutely unbelievable what he's been able to do. You see the full streaks. You see the FTL ready to go. He's 15 in 6 in a grand final. Now it's time to rain hell from the skies. Calling in the Trinity Rocket. At least able to get some callouts for his teammates. Sees 1 mid-map. Doesn't connect with anything. Actually, the rest of his team ends up getting wiped out. And somehow he comes out of that and still gets a kill.
Octane has done so good with this NV4 up close, getting a bullet down range and just immediately beating down right after. Still trying to hit shots in this outer wall run. Lives for a brief moment, but still alive. How has Octane not died?
I was going to say, how is nobody from Splyce focusing him on the bridge? He jumps right up, landing shots down as Splyce controls the hard point. So you got to wonder what they were looking at there.
It's like he's constantly got a drone in his hand. This seems like he has some kind of added armor with the plays he's making. But the lead, still large for Luminosity, but certainly in striking distance for Splyce. Now it's time to rotate out a bridge. What's going to happen here at Lower Street?
Well, it's pretty good for Splyce because Octane did use some of those score streaks. They're not going to have a ton of utility when we get over to Cathedral and we get over towards Broken. So if Splyce can get them to burn another one of those and live through it, they're in a decent spot to make this comeback.
And look at the position they're in now. Bance and Jerd with some kills. LG spawning out. Bance is going to get a great amount of information for his team on a potential retake from LG. This has all the signs of a full 60 from Splyce right now.
It certainly does. His kill to take control of Slack and this top is so massive. He got some information. Those ones pushing through, tagged up one on the opposite end as well. He's playing his life in the corner. 2 players trying to take him out. It takes a while, but finally does happen. At scaffolding, though, it's Jerd trying to go clutch. 2 players down for either side. Jerd doing a good job dealing with pressure from multiple angles, but doesn't finish the kill.
Jerd, though, he's got to help. He gets the call out. 162 to 147. Jerd potentially on a streak. Splyce in control of the next spawns. And Octane only has 1 more score streak to use. How have Splyce done this?
Here it comes from Octane. The bombardment gonna come in. Who does he actually connect with? Somebody has called in. They should be dropping whoever is there.
What?
Brave, it doesn't get anything. Where did he call him in?
3 streaks from Octane, 0 kills. LG have just given up a full 1 minute lead.
Classic trying to push forward as they're looking to make a play. He's got a little ways to go towards Camo. One member in the back, can't snap. That Jerd going clutch. Jerd was getting awfully close. They're all dead. But finally falls. Splyce, they have it here. They're holding on. Octane still in the back, doing whatever he can. The FTL jump goes huge. He sees one more trying to challenge, but loses him.
But Splyce now have streaks to call on, and they're gonna wind up picking up 1 kill. There's a 1v1 on the hard point. Mad Cat wins it. The time will go to Splyce. This break is going to be key for the European team.
Yeah, and Octane uses that bombardment. There was nobody there to really push the hill after.
God.
And you see Zero. The shots at range on Slack. It's going to be all on Splyce. Can they get across the map? Can they break this hill?
This is it. Vance very, very close to picking up his camo. If he can find a couple of keys, that could be the key, but he actually just dropped. Zero's gonna need to do it. Does not yet have reactive armor. You have a 20-point advantage.
They have a timing window right here. Look at the minimap. 2 players from LG spawn all the way out. Splyce know this. They come soaring on in. There's the break from Zero. Remember, folks at home, LG coming from the loser's bracket. If they lose this map, they lose the tournament.
LG right now, they have a 2-1 advantage, so they're still actually okay. Splyce trying to push this to a game 5.
I'm sorry.
But Zero inside, it's been a crazy, crazy series.
Whoa!
Zero gets 2. Zero trying to line up a third, but not able to do it with 15 seconds left. Luminosity would be right back in this if they can pick up the final points.
Yeah, I'd love to go on with Jerd. We saw him call streaks in earlier. I wonder if he has anything left if we go over to maybe Bridge or we get another lower street. If Jerd has some more score streaks, those would be huge for Splyce. And no, we go on board with them, didn't get anything outside of that Trinity.
All right, you have a streak building for Slack, but it's Saints trying to play inside sneaky. Can Slack find any more kills? 100 points off the Scarab. Octane doing a good job trying to hold Plat. Wise to back down there and play his life. Luminosity trying to get back in this. Do we see a lead change? A hotel hallway. The movement on point as Octane goes vertical over the top. The close range. He almost wins a fight there against reactive armor.
He makes them burn reactive armor. Classic now dead. Splyce back in control. 216 to 216.
Yeah, you see Bance, he's actually going to have his active camo, so you gotta wonder if you're Splyce, when do you decide to use it? They don't need it now.
Classic has it, Bance has it as well. The camo could be the key difference here. I believe everybody's burned streaks up to this point. Mad Cat peeking inside, shots a little off, but still able to finish the kill. Slack still trying to answer. There's several LG players in the back, but Splyce holding on. They're about to get towards the 240-point mark. Everybody now racing outside for Bridge, Jack.
They have to kill Mad Cat. He's going to be 1 kill off of earning this Trinity Rocket, which could be the total difference maker here. He's dancing around camo, the perfect tool to have here. Mad Cat shut down. A second kill on the Zero. It's Classic making the plays. 241 to 222.
Classic going huge. They need him to be massive here. He's going to get in a position where he can apply pressure on the spawn of Splyce. Nice shots there. Mad Cat gone. But Advance with his camo in the backside. They only need 9 points. If game 1 was absurd, we've got another doozy here in game 4.
241 to 231. Classic has the help for his teammates. He's flying high. Zero gets the kill.
How does Zero win it? We're about to have another lead chance. If Luminosity can get back inside, it's still contested. Centurion now available for Slack. If that's going to come into it, there's 10 seconds left, and we're going to have to wrap out.
They've got to go to a new hill. You've got to get Octane going towards this new heart. Look, everyone's ditching it. They're trying to rush towards Lower Street. It's going to be a foot race here. Octane is set up. Mad Cat trying to gut him off that top bedroom window. 244 to 243. Zero with the kills. Classic charging on through. It's coming down to the wire. LG just a couple seconds away. Luminosity will do it. Luminosity will clutch up. And Luminosity will be your CWL Anaheim Open champions.
They're looking for revenge. They get it, and it has to be oh so sweet at one of the most iconic cities and venues for Call of Duty esports. Back to the inception of it. What a marvelous win. And it's what, Matt, 6 points in Hardpoint that separate both games?
It's a crazy game from Splyce in games 1 and in games 4. But just not enough in the overall series. Luminosity takes it.
This trio picked up Saints to win major LAN events. The last time this trio of players of Octane, Classic, and Slack won a major LAN event, It was over a year and a half ago. They are on top of Call of Duty again. And boy, oh boy, do they get sweet revenge here against Europe's best.
Yeah, and it's got to be. I mean, you've been waiting a long time for this trio. It's what? Is it back to the UMG event last year in Black Ops 3?
South Carolina, yep.
Yeah, that's the last time they were able to win an event. You know, Octane was so good, and then he struggled over the later half of the year. Guess what, buddy? Octane is here, and he may be the best player in the game right now. This was just a pleasure to cast. I hope you guys at home enjoyed every second of it.
Wow, what a moment there. We see Luminosity in front of their trophy.
Ready to lift?
I'm sure they've got their moment. I think Puckett's on the floor with them here.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. It's Luminosity, your Anaheim champions. There we go, Saints. Fellas, we got to get into this one, and I want to start with you, Saints. It's Father's Day. Your son's in the crowd. He was smiling. He was pointing at Dad, and you are now a champion with this squad. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really good, man. We always knew we had the potential. We just had to get our teamwork down, and we did. So that's the result that we get.
Teamwork was there. The chemistry, it was paying off all tournament long. Classic, though. I was standing behind you. I was watching your screen. Such an intense finish to that final hardpoint. Walk me through the rotation, because you just sprinted from bridge and knew you had to book it to that lower street.
Well, me and Nato just traded out the kill on hill, and then it was just a mad dash to the hill. We ended up winning the gunfights, and we took home the chip.
You did take home the championship, and I'm not done yet. I'm coming to this side. Josiah, I've been casting you since Black Ops 2. Your first trophy that we see now in IW. How's this feel?
Feels amazing, man. I knew we could do it all year. The casters have been saying it. You know, we've been saying it as a team, and we finally did it. And to come up with a W, it feels awesome.
And Octane, final question for you, man. Everyone said you had an MVP-like performance back at playoffs, but that trophy, it went over to 0. This time around, you have another insane tournament. What do your teammates do to allow you to go off the way you did?
It's just comfortability, man. If they want to give me the MVP, that's fine, but I think it goes to each and every one of my teammates. I can't play like that without the help of these guys, and I love them.
Anything you guys want to say to all the LG loyal out there?
Thanks for supporting us and never doubting us, and hopefully we can continue to do this for the rest of the year.
I want to thank everybody who was here today to witness this amazing finals. Thank you all for coming out to Anaheim, and stick around. We'll be announcing the MVP in just a few moments, but for now, let's send it back to the desk one more time. We got Benson and crew to break down how that grand finals played out.
Thank you very much, Puckett. What a grand finals. Nail-biting maps there. Congratulations to Luminosity, of course, the CWL Anaheim Open champions. And I mean, we'll start with map number 1. Let's just get straight to it. Unbelievable, Merc. It had us all jumping on our feet, screaming and shouting.
Yeah, we've had some ridiculous Scorch hardpoint maps that I just can remember about. Just so many last-second holds, but that game number 1 was absolutely ridiculous. This sort of hanger hill rotating to that drill hill. Just streaks weren't used by Octane. You know, there was just so many sort of questionable decisions, but everybody just getting in that hill, just trading it as much as possible.
And I feel that was one of the big moments throughout that map, right? Not using those streaks. Proof, me and you were quite literally jumping up and down here on the desk.
Yeah, I tweeted out I needed a Huggy sponsor. I did poopy in my pants after that first map. But on top of the streaks, you had Nato with reactive armor too, that they were able to team shot and melt that as well. So I would have called the Trinity Rockets in and just been like, get to the hill. I'm gonna drag this last one until you guys get there, man. Just hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and I'll try to help you out whenever I can. But it was just amazing plays. That was an amazing game 1, and that's what you want to see if you're a Call of Duty fan.
Definitely was. 250 to 249. Of course, you mentioned they reacted there. Saints pops reactive on that final hill. The team shot comes through. Mad Cat's able to clean that kill up. But I mean, in terms of that streak conversation, team, should he have used those streaks in your opinion?
It's a really tough call. You could definitely take the other side of that page where he could get caught with the, sort of tablet up.
Yep.
Not in the plate in that sort of situation. So the trades were going down. And it was such a roller coaster of emotions, which was so crazy. From hanger over towards drill, it really looked like Octane sealed the deal. And then the mad dash happened again. We saw a mad dash situation, both hard points, which was really cool to see. Mad Cat able to get that 2-piece though, stalled just long enough at drill, was so cool to see. I'm sure everyone was going nuts. It was wild.
It was unbelievable ending. One of the best maps I've ever seen in Call of Duty competitive history, I think it's fair to say. Moving on though, of course, at that point, Splyce 1-0 up, ton of confidence. We go to the search and destroy Merc, and that was one, of course, LG was able to close.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this map, you know, at Stage 1 playoffs. It was the final map, and Splyce dominated it. But this time around, Slack 9-5, I believe. Classic was also playing extremely well. Just a great team effort from these guys. They were able to close it out. Obviously, you could see there, Splyce almost getting back into it, but LG, they win a 6-4, and I think a huge map, because I thought Splyce definitely had the advantage, especially after winning game number 1, where you're thinking, okay, they win a Hardpoint. Can they take these search and destroys?
And then watching that, I thought the comeback was going to happen once again on LG, where they give away a search and destroy. You saw the camo pop to try to clutch a 2v1, which is kind of a selfish play in my opinion. I think he was going for the wall start play. I mean, I get it, you're up 5-3 and you're trying to close it out there, but save it for the next round when your teammates are up, get a pick, then you got numbers, trade out, and play it effectively. It almost costed them, but LG was able to stick at it and get the win.
Yes, they were. They take map number 2, 6-4. Then, of course, we go over to the uplink, and this was an interesting one, because at halftime it was 3-2, but it finished 11-5. What went wrong for Splyce in that second half?
Man, they just kept it so close that entire series, but it was really that relay dunk that was on the back of Classic when he got that camo. Once that second dunk went in, it's like the switch went off for Splyce. They just weren't able to pick up any kills off of those spawns, and when you're able to get a dunk and a kill afterwards, that momentum shift in itself is so huge, because you have that threat at the opposing team's portal. The other team has to make that mad dash. You can't take that chance to overextend. You have to wrap back, try and take that guy out. Luminosity obviously slays out, takes full advantage, and gets those points so fast.
I agree with TP. He was able to close it out with the camo push, but they gave away a free dunk before that to give them the 2-point lead through underpass. You can't just give up a dunk. You need to have everyone rotating correctly and covering everything, and don't leave a loose end like that. When you leave a loose end, he was able to go right through underpass. I think it was Slack, got the dunk, and then next thing you know, Classic had camo. He was able to pop the camo and give them a 4-point lead instead of a 2.
Yeah, I mean, you just heard the casters throughout that map. As soon as you sort of lay off the gas, it kind of reminds me of like what we always talk about with Optic Gaming. As soon as you lay off the gas, Luminosity, they take advantage of it. They get slays in the base, and it's so hard to get players like Classic, like Octane. When they set up behind that statue, it's just tough. And Splyce, again, they give up just for about 2 minutes. Luminosity make them pay.
Yeah, they definitely do. So at that point, LG 2-1 up. They are a map away from being crowned Anaheim champions. We go over to Hardpoint on Retail, and we had another nail-biting finish again.
The mad dash.
On our feet. It was another mad dash, and I mean, you can see there 250 to 245. What was the key point in that one for you, team?
I just want to take a note. This is the most beautiful box score you could possibly see. We saw on match number 1, the scorch was really lopsided over towards that hanger one, but look at this.
Yeah.
Literal just seconds away on all of these hard points. Both these guys, it was almost perfect from both sides. The only thing though we have to knock on the side of Octane, yes, he does have that 1.3 in 98 seconds, but those streaks on that sort of cathedral situation on the second rotation were pretty abysmal. I feel like LG, if they used those properly, they could have secured it earlier on, but Splyce reacts so well.
Yeah, and once again, I thought LG was the team that was controlling the pace the entire time, and they almost, once again, give it away to them. And Splyce, Monty comeback 0, I think, on the broken hill was just killing everything in his side. I just see him doing 360 in the hills and getting kills.
And the X factor for me was Classic, because he was playing really well. He runs that second NB4 on retaliation, and he was playing really well that first rotation. As soon as it went to the lower street, you sort of saw him slow down, and at the end you saw him pick it back up. He's sort of the X factor for me, because he helps out Octane, you know, fight against Zero. We've always seen Classic sort of run that second NB4, which is you might not expect, but he's always done such a great job.
Well, congratulations once again to Luminosity, your Anaheim champions, and what a grand final it was. As we said, some real nail-biting moments with that, and probably one of the greatest hard points I've ever seen in competitive Call of Duty history.
Just wanted to say Happy Father's Day again, Nato. I'll see you later on tonight, buddy.
A championship as well on Father's Day. Must be a phenomenal feeling for him.
What a story to tell Kai in the future.
But we still do have one question left still to be answered. The Astro Gaming MVP, who will be walking away with the prestigious award. It's everything from myself, TP, Proofy, and Merc, and everyone else that joined us live in the studio this weekend. We can set it down to Jack on the stage to announce the MVP.
Thank you so much, Benson. Ladies and gentlemen in Anaheim, give it up for your champions, Luminosity Gaming. Absolutely, absolutely much deserved. What a final we just saw right there, down to the final moments. I know Puckett heard your thoughts on the series, but we've got some great questions from Twitter. People use the hashtag AskMLG, wanted to speak to our champions. So to kick it right off, @Ascension on Twitter said,
which team surprised you the most this event? Is there one for you, Renato, that just stands out more than any other?
Definitely Epsilon. We always have good series against them, and they showed up, man. They came to play, and they have really good. They just match up well against us, I guess. But yeah, they definitely surprised me.
Well, you guys were able to get your revenge later on in the tournament there. Obviously, we saw a different story back in group play, but moving forward, @Lago said, what's next for the squad, and how are you going to use this momentum moving forward to Season 2 and Champs? Which one do you guys want to take this one? There we go.
Changing nothing. We have a week to practice before our first week in Stage 2, and we just want a championship. I'm not changing anything.
Makes a lot of sense, right? When you're on top, don't fix it if it ain't broke. Moving forward, we've got Galvanized CWL who says, which player do you most consider your rival? Is there one that stands out for each of you? Saints, I'm going to start with you first.
I don't really have a rival. I don't care.
Anybody that's in front of you, you're taking down. Octane, your turn.
I guess I would go with Zero. We back-to-back grand finals. He's their AR player. Everyone seems to hype up our matchup. So.
And finally, Slacked. Who you going with?
Like Nato said, I don't think we really have a rival. I just don't really care who we play.
Okay, Classic wants one.
JCap.
JCap. Classic says JCap. Obviously, the love saga between those two continues. Now moving forward, Cess1212 says, does it surprise you the top teams that didn't make it into the top 6? And how does this make you feel going into Stage 2? I'm sure talking about some of the big names out there, Optic Gaming, FaZe Clan, Envious. Slack, do you have any thoughts on how those teams performed this weekend?
I think FaZe with Zuma's injury and then not being able to practice, I think that kind of set them back. As far as Envy, they haven't really done much this whole year, not really trying to throw any bad blood with them, but, hopefully they can go home, figure something out, or maybe make a roster change and come back on top for the end of the year.
A lot of people talking about a potential roster mania before Stage 2 after this event. 2 final questions. Actually, 1 final question. Kieran Locken, 23, says, who clutched the most on your team? Who was the one that made the difference in those big scenarios this weekend? I'm going to bring this one. Actually, yeah, Classic, you're answering this one. Which of your teammates went biggest the most?
Sam or Nato? I don't know. I can't decide.
Wow, no love for Slack. Slack, I'm going with you as my clutchest player this weekend. But either way, I know a lot of you guys are waiting to hear who the MVP is. Throw away the other papers. I've got the stats right here. Folks, every tournament has an MVP. The Astro Gaming MVP, a 1.24 overall KD, 1.41 in Uplink. That's #1 overall, the 2nd highest overall KD, and he went positive every Uplink he played. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Octane. Much deserved, much deserved. Octane, 1 question for you. What about your team makes this possible for you? I know it's a team game. While you put up great numbers, these guys have to do some great things for you on the map.
I don't have to worry about anything that they do. It allows me to do whatever I want, whenever I want to. And an MVP really isn't coming from one player. It's a team effort, so I would give it to all these guys.
Absolutely. Well, you can figure out a way to cut up that trophy into 4 ways. There's a look again at Octane stats, some ridiculous numbers back at Stage 1 and here at the CWL Anaheim Open. But ladies and gentlemen across the world watching competitive Call of Duty, I've got some great news for you. In the next couple of months, we've got the CWL Stage 2 regular season, the CWL Stage 2 playoffs, and CWL championships later in Orlando. For now, though, at the CWL Anaheim Open, from everyone working here at MLG, from the casters to all the fans here, thank you for tuning in online. Thank you for being here in person. One final time, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your champions and your MVP, Luminosity and Octane.